Hey everyone, Arashi here, back in with another upload. In today's video, I'm just going to be talking about, very quickly, am I excited for Star Wars The Acolyte? And just to preface, I do have other lore videos I'm planning on releasing during this week, but guys, just bear with me a little bit. I'm in finals right now for school and college, and it's just very chaotic right now. But school's over for me on the 7th, and I have a lot of work to get done, so I'm also going to be trying to upload videos as well, so just bear with me a little bit. Anyway, back to the topic of this video, am I excited for Star Wars The Acolyte? And I have very, honestly, harsh opinions for what I expect for The Acolyte. I don't expect anything from The Acolyte. I honestly don't even think it's going to be that great of a show. And honestly, just being fair criticism here, Disney, how can you expect me to be when the lead actors don't even know that it was Luke Skywalker that blew up the Death Star and not Anakin Skywalker? And it comes out that 3 of the writers that are on this show actually don't even know anything about Star Wars. They didn't start watching Star Wars or even caring about it until they got hired to do this. So how can you expect me to be excited for something when something like that is going on behind the scenes? Although I do think the High Republic era is cool in Star Wars, and this is going to be one of the first shows that are actually going to show it off, I hope that at least the High Republic era is nailed. I hope that the Star Wars ambiance is there. I hope that everything that involves Star Wars, like the ambiance, the feeling, the settings, I hope at least that stuff is nailed. I mean, with a $180 million budget, the effects should be perfect. But as far as the characters go, I really don't have too much hope in the characters. They honestly just they don't grab me. They're not appealing to me. I mean, at least when it came to the sequels, when I first saw the trailers, I at least was like, oh, okay, this character looks cool. Rey looks decent. I mean, Finn looked cool at first from the trailers. I'm just saying from the trailers. And I honestly still like the sequel characters. I think they just were a victim of bad writing. I mean, outside of that Sith at the very end of the original trailer for The Acolyte, that's the only character that I thought was like, oh, okay, that guy looks cool. The mask looks awesome. I wonder who's behind that mask. That's what I thought was cool. But as far as everybody else, I'm like, you know, it is what it is. They're just another character out here. Nothing's really interesting about them. And for what I've seen from the promotional material and what I've heard from behind the scenes that have been going on with The Acolyte, I honestly have no hope in the characters actually being good whatsoever. I mean, outside of the lead actors saying that they had nothing to do with Star Wars, that they don't know anything about Star Wars, and they don't even know that Luke Skywalker was the one that blew up the Death Star, and you also have people who are writing for the show that have never even watched or seen Star Wars before. It's just kind of crazy to me. And if you haven't seen the series before, then great, you know, awesome. But at least put the work in to actually understand, at least to a minimum, of what's going on behind the scenes and understand what Star Wars is. Like the character Sabine Wren, the girl who plays Sabine Wren, I forgot her name right now, but I mean, I know her character wasn't necessarily liked from the show, but she herself said that she watched all of Rebels and she watched Clone Wars, and she pretty much watched anything that said anything to do with Sabine Wren or anything Star Wars related, just so she can understand what Star Wars is. And from a fan perspective, I can completely understand that, and I sympathize with that, and I appreciate it at least. But if you're just going out here hiring all willy-nilly, and you're paying these people millions of dollars, I mean millions of dollars, to write these shows and produce these shows, and you know nothing about the show or the franchise as a whole, that's just a red flag. That's a huge red flag. You shouldn't be hiring people who don't know anything about that. When I apply to become a police officer, I'm expected to go to the academy, right? I mean, you have to go through the academy to understand what you're getting yourself into. And that's just honestly the bare minimum expectation of something that you're supposed to do. I mean, if I was getting paid millions of dollars to get into a franchise, I mean, honestly, why do you think I haven't made videos on other topics like I want to? And I'm not paid a single dime to do this kind of stuff. Like when I want to make these videos, I'm learning on the side on how to animate myself. I'm learning on the side about other topics and other shows that I've been getting myself into. That's why when I always say I'm working on projects, it's actually not just me working on a video. No, I can pump out any video I want, but what I want to make sure I'm doing is when I'm watching stuff like Invincible, I'm reading all the comics and stuff like that so I can understand what I'm talking about. And just like recently, I want to start making like Harry Potter content. I've literally even been playing Hogwarts Legacy, the game. I've been watching the movies. I've been starting to read the books. I've been reading comics, spin-offs, anything. Like, I want to get into that content and I want to start making content on it, so I'm putting in the work to understand it more. And I'm not paid a dime. I'm not paid a single dime. Like, I still want to get my own microphone, actual recording microphone. Right now I use just my headset, my gaming headset. And there's so much stuff that I have in store for this channel that I just really can't wait to get it going, but it takes money, it takes resources, and it takes a lot of research, and that's what I'm doing. And it's simply just so mind-boggling to me that this is just what's going on. Like, it's just crazy to me that this is what's going on over at Disney. I mean, you're paying somebody millions of dollars and they're not even putting in half the effort that somebody who on YouTube does. And there's plenty of more that actually, you know, put in work the same amount as me and the same amount as other people, and are paid far less. And that's why I'm not exactly excited for Acolyte. I'm just kind of excited to see the settings, and maybe if they introduce any new lightsaber forms, anything like that. You know, maybe if they have a cool, nice little area. I at least expect at the bare minimum that the ambiance and everything that goes on with Star Wars and the High Republic, I hope they just paint that in a great light so that we at least have the High Republic era that's cool. I'm going to watch the show right when it drops, so hopefully they don't disappoint too much. I'm just not expecting much from Acolyte, and I think it's going to lose money ultimately. And my final note to the actor on the show, I forgot his name, honestly, but he said that he can't identify himself with any, like he doesn't see any traits that he can relate to within Jedi because none of them look like him. It's just kind of crazy to me because didn't we just have Martin Luther King not even too long ago say judge people off their character and ethics and not by their body color or anything that's going on like that? I can relate myself to a ton of different characters within Star Wars because of the way that they acted and the way that they handled things, and mainly for me being a Luke Skywalker. I identify with Luke because he never gave in. He never stopped. You know, he never was the person who, he didn't give up on his own father who was so evil at that point. No, Luke eventually found the good within, he found Anakin Skywalker within Darth Vader, that casing of armor. He finally broke through and found Anakin. Luke never gave up, man, and that's one thing that I can always relate to him, because I feel like in my life I have constantly just been shut down and failed at so many different things in my life. I mean, heck, honestly, I can't even think of a single W I've had in my life. I mean, outside of my wife, I really have not had a single W, not one. I can't think of a single one, and that's just how I am right now. But I'm gonna keep pushing and keep going, because I only live this life once, and I just, you know, with someone like me, I don't have time to worry about representation and diversity and all that stuff. I really don't. We live such a finite point in life. In human history, we live such a small point. We are this tiny little speck, this little dot in the universe. And once it's gone, we're gone forever, and we're just gonna move on. Just, you know, world keeps going, globe keeps spinning. I don't have time to worry about things such as like if somebody likes me or not because of my skin color. If they don't like me because of my skin color, fair be it. You know, go right ahead. I don't care. What matters to me are the people that have decided to come into my life and, you know, keep pouring in. And if they're not pouring into my life, then why do I give them the time and attention or the time of day? Are Star Wars fans toxic? Yes, we're one of the most toxic fan bases on the entire planet and every single last franchise. But why are we paying attention and giving attention to those people? As I said before in my past video, Disney, Star Wars, when I tell you that they are such a small portion of the Star Wars community and of humanity in whole, don't pay attention to the trolls. Why are we appealing to them? Don't listen to them whatsoever. Just focus on making great Star Wars. Star Wars has already brought so many people together. And if you don't believe me, Star Wars, go ahead and look at your own parks. I mean, Disneyland, look at your own parks for May the 4th through May the 9th. Yes, Star Wars Night at Disneyland. Look at those sales for Star Wars Night. Look at all those fans that came together just to celebrate Star Wars. They weren't there because it's, you know, Disneyland. If this event was held anywhere else, then we would just go just as people, you know, just to hang out and have fun with Star Wars. So Disney, I beg of you, please focus on the fans that actually care about Star Wars, not the trolls who are just always are a part of every single last franchise and are going to be very loud and very obnoxious and very annoying. But anyway, this video's gone on long enough. Let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Look forward to more lore videos later on. May the Force be with you, and have a great